Hello. Good evening. It is late night. I used to do these late night lives. I used to do them, but now we're on the late night lives again because I have been going to bed late. Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all. So, God has been working, and it came on my heart to do a read aloud of something that came to my attention 2 days ago. So I always talk about Ann Wigmore. I don't know if you guys know who that is. If you're new here, maybe you don't know who that is. But Ann Wigmore is one of the backbone teachers, the OG teachers of natural healing. Look at that chart right there, right? It's so good. This book is called Be Your Own Doctor by Ann Wigmore. Now, I have a copy of Be Your Own Doctor by Ann Wigmore with all my stuff that's in a storage unit. And right now, I'm currently in my mother's house, my family house, for the holidays. And am I frozen? Guys, am I frozen or no? Someone just commented that I'm frozen. Am I actually frozen? Let me know, please. I'll wait. Because if I'm frozen, I'm going to be upset. Really? I'm frozen. Oh, no, I'm not frozen. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me continue. My bad, guys. That was a long break that I took until I got your answers. Okay. So Be Your Own Doctor by Ann Wigmore. Now, if you guys don't know who Ann Wigmore is, this is Ann Wigmore. And I have a copy of Ann Wigmore's book, Be Your Own Doctor, with my stuff that's in a storage unit. But I'm at home with my family. And I don't know why my mom has this book, how she would have this book, why this book would be, I don't know. Maybe she listened to a live one time and bought it. I have no idea why this book is here. And it is in the nightstand of my childhood room, and I found it. Now, I've read this book many times over. And there are so many protocols in here about Rejuvelac, about wheatgrass, cancer, blood pressure, diabetes. It talks all about how greens are the missing key for a lot of people. I have shared that. However, there's a part in the back of this book that I don't know if, maybe I've never read it. Maybe I've skimmed over it because it wasn't technically about the physical body. Because I don't know if you guys, I've always taught about the physical body. And I've always had a wariness or hesitance to talking about spiritual healing in combination with the body. Because I just didn't feel equipped enough to, talk about it, right? And that's just being purely vulnerable. I've only talked about the physical body. So even in my studying and stuff and reading these books, I feel like I've skimmed over certain parts of certain books, OG books that I've known about for years. There are certain parts that I've skimmed over and skipped over because they were not rooted in the physical nature of food and herbs and stuff. So it just so happened I found this book and I intuitively knew that I had to just read it and pick it up and read it. And of course, when I opened the book, I was skimming through the front and then it fell open to this section that says, in addition to diet. So I'm going to be reading aloud right now, okay? I'm going to be reading aloud a page and a half, or maybe 2 pages. This is an important excerpt from this book. Now, if you guys are not in a place to hear and listen, come back to the live. I am just going to read through exactly what this is because in my spirit, I know that I read this page, these couple pages for a reason. At the time that I specifically read them, I know that this part of this book reconciles my journey of faith with natural healing. I know that this part of this book was shown to me and open to me because there is a renewal. There's a renewal of my mind. There's a renewal of my spirit. And there is a renewal of my faith and my belief. This page is important. These couple pages are important. So I'm going to read aloud. Whoever stays, stays. Whoever goes, goes. But I encourage you to open your ears and open your spirit and open your mind, open your heart to what is being written in this book. If you guys have heard of, I have said her name so many times. I have mentioned this book so many times. So many times. Okay? Haley put me onto this book in the way beginning. The way beginning. And here we are. I've been to the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute, everything. And here we are. We're like looking at this book with new eyes. God meets you where you're at. God communicates with you where you are at. It's beautiful, beautiful design, beautiful communion that we have. And everyone hears differently. Everyone sees differently. Everyone feels differently. Everyone encounters differently. It's amazing. Okay, I'm going to read aloud. Whoever stays, stays. Whoever goes, goes. But the part of this book is called In Addition to Diet, Part 3. The triune nature of the human being. Every human being consists of 3 components: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. For the complete organism to work well during its lifetime, all 3 of these areas must mesh together and complement one another. The scriptures declare that this body is a holy temple, an instrument for doing virtuous deeds and for knowing, loving, and serving God. We need good health to pray, meditate, or perform any service. We need good health to achieve righteousness, wealth, desire, and liberation. A life with good health is a blessing indeed. Our Master, by his example, by his whole life, and by his teachings, showed the path of salvation to mankind, the path of harmony, the path which leads to a simple, natural life. He said, "Those who keep the law will never look upon disease." When our Master said, "Neither heat nor cold nor the bite of serpents can do you harm," he meant that if we live in harmony with the natural forces, nothing can do harm to the body. On nearly every occasion of his teaching, our Master emphasized the law of simplicity as a natural and spiritual law. Again and again in the Gospels, we find our teacher stressing the principle of simplicity. We are masters of everything. We are masters of everything we possess, which is necessary for our growth. But everything which is superfluous becomes the master of us, and we become a slave. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It is a human disease to always try to possess more than is necessary for individual development. If we are all to live simply and naturally, we would be without the many dangers and complications of contemporary life. There would be an end to violence, for when the earth gives us all the necessities of life, the essentials for our existence, we have no need to exploit others. God gave to mankind a supreme idea, which unfortunately we have not so far succeeded in putting into practice. He showed the human race the way to live and the path to salvation by the humble birth and appearance of his Son and by his life. He showed the human race that as the sun and the earthly life are reborn each year, so likewise must human beings be reborn themselves to a new life, just as the whole earth is reborn to a new life. We must be reborn not only to a new way of life, but also through our thoughts and through our spirits. For just as dead foods destroy the harmony of our organism, so do inharmonious and unpleasant thoughts destroy our spirits. All inharmonies come only if we fail to adapt ourselves to the natural forces. The ancient civilizations recognized that the body is a symphony of vibrations. The organs are the orchestra, and the sun, earth, water, and air are the energies which give the harmonics to that orchestra. This gives the body life force. Good health is that state of equilibrium wherein the mind and all the organs of the body work in harmony and concord, and the person enjoys peace and happiness and performs his or her duties of life with ease and comfort. Good health is that state in which a person jumps, sings, smiles, laughs, whistles, and moves about with joy and ecstasy. A healthy human being has rosy cheeks, a shining face, and sparkling eyes. And just as the body is part of the universe, so is mind. At every second, vibrations from the physical universe enter the mind and produce various kinds of influence. The mind of a human being is affected by thoughts and opinions of others as well. Good health is that condition in which a person has strong nerves and a sound mind and can think, speak, and act properly in harmony with nature. And when we anticipate a guest, we clean the house. We make it presentable and attractive. Why then should the body which houses God be less attractive, less habitable, less presentable? To feed the body unnatural foods, to feed it too much unnecessary food, is abuse of the body. The more we seek to satisfy desires, to fill our precious vehicle with liquor, cigarette smoke, and unhealthy foods, the further we stray from the purpose and ideal of a balanced life. The body should be loved and always respected and taken care of in order to fulfill the role for which we are created. Good physical health can be achieved and maintained by observing the laws of health and the rules of hygiene, taking wholesome, light, substantial, easily digestible food, by inhaling pure air, by regular physical exercise, by taking daily baths, by observing moderation in eating and drinking. Good health can be attained and maintained by prayer, meditation, right conduct, the practice of cheerfulness, and relaxation of the mind. To seek health in a self-centered manner is to ask for failure. I'm going to repeat that. To seek in a self-centered manner is to ask for failure. There may be temporary successes, but eventually the seeker finds himself right back where he started. Unless our thoughts are loving, we cannot achieve success in any area of life, and this includes the rebuilding of health and maintenance of good health. To think ill of another, to curse, to condemn, or to judge is against the natural law and the ideal for which we were created. Though it may be difficult to see God in some people, He is there. They simply have strayed from this realization. Rather than hate, we should feel compassion and love. We should cultivate an amiable, loving nature and adaptability. By our example, they too may begin to understand and know the ideal. Show the way, then keep everything in balance, and never forget to say thank you. What? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Right in front of my eyes. I have never deeply read that. I have never deeply read that. The triune nature of the human being. By His example, showed the path to salvation. Those who keep the law will never look upon disease. The principle of simplicity, alignment with the harmony of God's creation, of the natural resources, his provision. Living in alignment with his provision, not this garbage that man has created. Honoring the relationship with the Creator and not the man-made constructs that have been forced upon realms of society to hide truth from you, to hide salvation from you. What? I think I'm going to read it again. And those of you who just listened to it one time, listen to it again. I'm going to read it again. Let me check in with some comments. For anyone who is just joining, an important message is being spoken through this book. Let me see what people are saying here. Hi, guys. We have some fire emojis. Wow, alignment. I was meant to hear this. Right when I'm about to start fasting. Beautiful. Been on all fruit foraging for 3 months now, and God is so amazing. He shows up and shows out when we live and care for our body the way he designed it. It's such a key part of it. Keep up the great work and continue to fight the good fight of faith. Beautiful. Yes, I just came in. Read it again. Yeah, I'm going to read it again. Welcome, everybody. There is a potent message from this book that I've been talking about forever, and I happen to completely not understand and deeply embody a specific part of this book that I just overlooked when I was so focused on the physical realm of healing. I have only taught about the physical realm of healing forever. And there's a renewal of my spirit. I said this earlier, but for those of you who are just joining, and if you guys are going to say again, to hear this again, it's important for this type of stuff to sink into us, right? The amount of times that I've read through books, even if I'm talking about the physical realm, right? The amount of times that I've read books and reread books and applied things on my body, then reread things in order to get things to actually sink in, to be able to spit things out to you out of my mouth like this. This is now applicable in the spirit with the word. And there is a clear union of faith and physical realm natural healing that has been articulated beautifully in what I'm about to read. So here we go again. And this is going to sink in for me again. This book is called Be Your Own Doctor by Ann Wigmore. I've talked about Ann Wigmore so many times. I've talked about this book so many times, and there has just been a new revelation put onto my heart that all of a sudden this passage was revealed to me. This 6 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs. Okay? So here we go. Again, one more time. The triune nature of the human being. Every human being consists of 3 components: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. For the complete organism to work well during its lifetime, all 3 of these areas must mesh together and complement one another. The scriptures declare that this body is a holy temple, an instrument for doing virtuous deeds and for knowing, loving, and serving God. We need good health to pray, meditate, or perform any service. We need good health to achieve righteousness, wealth, desire, and liberation. A life with good health is a blessing indeed. Our Master, by his example, by his whole life, and by his teachings, showed the path of salvation to mankind, the path of harmony, the path which leads to a simple, natural life. He said, "Those who keep the law will never look upon disease." When our Master said neither heat nor cold nor the bite of serpents can do you harm, he meant that if we live in harmony with the natural forces, nothing can do harm to the body. On nearly every occasion of his teaching, our Master emphasized the law of simplicity as a natural and spiritual law. Again and again in the Gospels, we find our teacher stressing the principle of simplicity. We are masters of everything we possess, which is necessary for our growth, but everything which is superfluous becomes the master of us, and we become a slave. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It is a human disease to always try to possess more than is necessary for individual development. If we are all to live simply and naturally, we should be without many of the dangers and complications of contemporary life. There would be an end to violence, for when the earth gives us all the necessities of life, the essentials for our existence, we have no need to exploit others. God gave to mankind a supreme idea, which unfortunately we have not so far succeeded in putting into practice. He showed the human race the way to live and the path to salvation by the humble birth and appearance of his Son and by his life. He showed the human race that just as the sun and earthly life are reborn each year, so likewise must human beings be reborn themselves to a new life, just as the whole earth is reborn to a new life. We must be reborn not only to a new way of life, but also through our thoughts and through our spirits. For just as dead foods destroy the harmony of our organism, so do inharmonious and unpleasant thoughts destroy our spirits. All inharmonies come only if we fail to adapt ourselves to the natural forces. The ancient civilizations recognized that the body is a symphony of vibrations. The organs are the orchestra, and the sun, earth, air, and water are the energies which give the harmonics to that orchestra, give the body its life force. Good health is that state of equilibrium wherein the mind and all the organs of the body work in harmony and concord, and the person enjoys peace and happiness and performs his or her duties of life with ease and comfort. Good health is that state in which a person jumps, sings, smiles, laughs, whistles, and moves about with joy and ecstasy. A healthy human being has rosy cheeks, a shining face, and sparkling eyes. And just as the body is part of the universe, so is mind. At every second, vibrations from the physical universe enter the mind and produce various kinds of influence. The mind of a human being is affected by the thoughts and opinions of others. Good health is that condition in which a person has strong nerves and a sound mind and can think, speak, and act properly, also in harmony with nature. When we anticipate a guest, we clean our house. We make it presentable and attractive. Why then should the body, which houses God, be held any less attractive, be held any less habitable, and any less presentable? To feed the body unnatural foods, to feed it too much unnecessary food, is abuse of the body. The more we seek to satisfy desires to fill this precious vehicle with liquor, smoke, and unhealthful foods, the further we stray from the purpose and ideal of a balanced life. The body should be loved and always respected and taken care of in order to fulfill the role for which we are created. Good physical health can be achieved and maintained by observing the laws of health and the rules of hygiene, by taking wholesome, light, substantial, and easily digestible food, by inhaling pure air, by regular physical exercise, by daily baths, by observing moderation in eating and drinking. Good health can be attained and maintained by prayer, meditation, right conduct, the practice of cheerfulness, and relaxation of mind. To seek health in a self-centered manner is to ask for failure. There may be temporary success, but eventually the seeker finds himself right back where he started. Unless our thoughts are loving, we cannot achieve success in any area of life, and this includes the rebuilding and maintenance of good health. To think ill of another, to curse, condemn, or judge is against the natural law and the ideal for which we were created. Though it may be difficult to see God in some people, He is there. They simply have strayed from this realization. Rather than hate, we should feel compassion and love. We should cultivate an amiable, loving nature and adaptability. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Let me run it back. Though it may be difficult to see God in some people, He is there. They simply have strayed from this realization. Rather than hate, we should feel compassion and love. We should cultivate an amiable, loving nature and adaptability. By our example, they too may begin to understand and know the ideal. Show the way and keep everything in balance, and never forget to say thank you. Whoo! Sheesh! Sheesh! How y'all doing after that? I'm ordering this book tonight. Thank you for reading. I needed this. Wow, this was a confirmation for me. That was a confirmation for me too, Cam. It was an absolute confirmation for me too. I was like, yo, you are this book that has been in front of my eyes. Those with ears, let them hear. Those with ears, let them hear. Cam, that's you, my friend. That's you, my friend. It's so amazing. I was just about to say, this was right in front of my nose. I have had this book for years. This book is in my mom's house, and I don't know why. I don't know why or how this book was in my nightstand of my childhood bedroom when I guess she bought it. I've never sent her this book. I've never bought her this book. My copy of this book is in a storage unit in Florida, buried over the last 5 months. 4 months. Right under my nose. I have read the whole first half of this book, protocols on protocols on protocols about the physical body, over and over again. And this, I don't even know what else to say. Just sat on my deck with a plate full of all fruit. I love that. We were meant to reread that part, because when I read this at 4 a.m. yesterday. I picked up this book, the page fell open to this, and I read this at 4 a.m. I was like, oh, this is a message that is on my heart that I just need to read the pages out loud, because I had deep confirmation from the words specifically across these 5 paragraphs. So good. Literally the best. Sebastian, I need to read you this part of this book. I'm going to call you after this. This is awesome confirmation. For anyone that this is confirmation for, like Nadia said, those with ears, let them hear. I turned on IG, clicked on your live, and it is right on point, confirming what I am eating is God's purpose. God has given us his provision. God has created the earth with everything we need. God has created the earth with enough resource to where if we all lived in alignment with natural law and natural resource, we would not live in this place of violence and exploitation. Right? We just wouldn't. Hey Tori, I'm currently on a water fast. What would you suggest is the best way to break my fast? Thank you for any recommendations. I will absolutely answer this for you. So if you're coming off a water fast, whenever you do a water fast, your body, the purpose of a water fast is to shut down all the effort that your digestive system is doing in order to digest food so it can redirect its self-healing abilities elsewhere to locations where your body actually requires enough healing, right? So taking off all the pressure off the digestive system to redirect energy elsewhere allows other parts of your body to heal. And so when you're on a water fast, your digestive system shuts down, okay? It is not working. It is not actively churning and working. So when you break that, you can't all of a sudden put something into your digestive system that requires a lot of effort and all of a sudden a lot of work, okay? So when coming out of a water fast, I recommend you go to this is not exact instruction. You can feel into what I'm going to throw out to you in the order that I'm going to throw it out. It doesn't mean that you need to follow each step doctrine that I'm saying. I'm just giving you a buffet of the general order of how to introduce things, okay? So coming out of a water fast, you can do coconut water, juices, particularly green juices. You can do veggie juices. You can do fruit. That's one layer. From there, you can introduce seed milks, nut milks, blended smoothies, blended soups, veggie broth. That's the next layer. From there, you can go into salads. You can go into steamed veggies. You can go into leafy greens. Sometimes vegetables, raw vegetables, are a little rough on the body. I may say leafy greens with steamed vegetables feels good. From there, then you can do lentils. You can do soaked nuts, soaked seeds. You can do beans if you like that. You can do some quinoa or ancient grains, okay? That is generally the order. Now, however many days you water fasted for, generally it's nice to use that many days to then introduce these things back in. So if you just water fasted for 3 days, the order of stuff that I gave you would take at least 3 days to get you all the way from water to quinoa. Do you see what I'm saying? You want to take about the same amount of time to break it that you were actually in the fast. Okay? I hope that helps. Cam, I feel like some stuff is working on you, especially with Nadia right now in the chat. We literally love you so much. I'm so happy that you're having so much confirmed for you. Nadia, thank you for your presence in the chat right now. In Genesis 1:29, I give you every seed-bearing fruit on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. The earth has everything you need in accordance with natural law. If you live according to natural law, you will not experience disease. I will add a layer to that. If you live in accordance with natural law and in alignment with spiritual law, you will not have disease. Because the body, we just learned there's a triune. We are body, soul, and spirit. If there is a misalignment of the physical body, disease can manifest. If there is an alignment of the physical body, imbalance within the spirit and the soul can manifest. If there is an imbalance in the soul, your thought process, your mind, it can manifest in the physical, if there is a deep knowing and intuition and conviction in your spirit that is misaligned, it can manifest on the physical. All of these work together in a trinity, in a triune. We are three. Wow, 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 wow. That's kind of all I came on live to do, is just read this passage of this book. I don't have much else to say. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're finding truth, finding love, finding joy, finding peace. Ooh, finding peace, finding peace. If you desire to hear answers, if you desire to know answers, the only way to do that is to not allow your spirit to be pulled by distraction. It requires cultivating discernment of all the things that are put in front of your eyeballs on social media and on the internet. Speaking especially about social media and the internet. If you are watching something that ends up leading to confusion, pay attention to that. There's a spirit of confusion that comes over you. Pay attention to that. If you are watching something and it starts to instill some sort of like panic or desperation or fear, or makes you or like pulls you, right? Like nothing should be pulling you. Nothing should be like taking from you. If anything you're watching that is of God, that is of good intention, that is of light, should be pouring into you. You should never feel like part of you is being confused. You should never feel like part of you and your thought process or your level of clarity is being diluted. God is not the author of confusion. He is not. A lot of people, specifically now with this age of social media, there is only confusion. And when we have a lack of discernment because we have not equipped ourselves spiritually, we can fall into being pulled a ton of different directions, being confused, being distracted, being directed to paths that are not meant for us. God has laid out our path for us already. Anything that you experience, everything that I have experienced is exactly on my path, laid out to me for a reason. The author is Ann Wigmore. Everything in my path has been laid out to bring me exactly to the point that I am now, reading this specific passage to you that smacked me in my spirit. Literally. God will meet you where you're at and communicate with you how you are meant to hear it. Only if you're open and not distracted. only if you're working to cultivate your discernment by equipping yourself spiritually. Everything is hand in hand. I worked on the physical body for so long. Amen is right. Amen is right. I worked on the physical body for so long and hit the ceiling. Hit the ceiling. Sure, I may experience some things of my lymph naturally being sluggish. You guys can kind of see this puffiness that comes under my eyes if I eat a lot of salt and my kidneys are a little like, these are just natural tendencies where my body, my constitution ends up being weaker. And all of that is okay. But in general, you see the health. You see the radiation of the skin. You see the quality of the skin. You see the quality of my energy. You see the whiteness of the teeth. Like I'm not even boasting about me. I'm just saying that there is this level of physical health that I hit. This all I could possibly learn about the physical healing of the body, right? It served me. It got me to where I needed, to where, I am actually living and honoring the temple that the Creator gave me to the utmost highest, where I absolutely reject any of this dead, chemical, garbage, processed food. It's not even in my wheelhouse. My life is cultivated to where my temple is fully honored. Fully honored. That doesn't mean that I will never experience a health crisis. That doesn't mean that I will never experience any symptom again. That's not what that means. A lot of people think that when you're on the healing journey, all of a sudden you don't deal with anything. The human body is a human body, right? Our physical body is very susceptible to spiritual misalignment, lack of boundary, confusion. Our physical body is very susceptible to any sort of infiltrating vibrations, which we talked about in here. Infiltrating vibrations, infiltrating energies, external energies, cultivating confusion within you. Your physical body is very susceptible to things that are happening in the spirit. I hit the ceiling of it. Yes, I'm experiencing what you're talking about. This is not a game. We cannot let the enemy play with our temple. A word. Hey, I'm Blash. Hey, girl. What book is this? This book is called Be Your Own Doctor by Ann Wigmore. You guys can screenshot that if you want. God versus energy, or is it the same? I say God. I say God. To me, I've always felt this in my heart, and I will say this with utmost my truth. Saying anything other than God feels disrespectful, and I've always felt that. I've always felt that. I've said that I've expressed that to my boyfriend. I've expressed that after an entire era of living agnostic. Okay? Agnostic. I had no idea what God was. I had no idea it was higher power. I had no idea what I thought, what I felt. I was aligned with source. I was aligned with universe. I was aligned with energy. I was aligned with all of that. It started to feel disrespectful to not just honor the word God, capital G. That's me. That's me. That's my experience. That's my feeling in my spirit. Okay? God creates energy. Thank you, Undine. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Praise to the Most High. I'm with you on that. Sebastian is with me on that. The second I feel like we said it out loud, and I was like, saying anything other than God feels a little disrespectful. And I'm talking about for me, right? In my spirit, there became a misalignment of not acknowledging it as God. Okay? So however you interpret that, I don't know if I would answer, is it the same thing? However you interpret that. Take what I'm saying, interpret it however you want. I am not responsible for drawing your conclusions. I'm responsible for sharing my truth and my story and my experiences of what is being revealed to me, specifically with this type of work that I'm here doing, the union of faith and physical natural living, natural law, the union of spiritual law and physical law, natural law. There is a new type of understanding and renewal that is happening with my spirit that is showing me such clarity around the union of those two things and how that looks in truth. And it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. I posted on my story the other day, and I said, I was like, I've encountered the Holy Spirit 5 times since October 21st. I've only told a handful of people every detail of what those encounters have been like. But if I can say anything, I'm going to hold those experiences close to my heart and close to my soul and hold those experiences with God and the few people that I've told. But if I can say anything, there is a truth. There is a truth that you feel in your spirit when you are actually communing with our Creator. There is an ultimate truth when you have an engagement with our Creator. Your Creator is my Creator. Your Creator is my Creator, is Nadia's Creator, is Sebastian's Creator, is Lisa's Creator, is Cam's Creator, is Carla's Creator, is Gigi Too Cool's Creator. You see what I'm saying? Is Emblage's Creator. All of our Creator is the Creator. The Creator. Oh, wow. I feel like I can't even help but smile. Oh my goodness. I cannot even help but smile. I'm so excited to be on live, reading that to you, talking about this topic. I'm excited to feel your energies. This is War. I like your energy. Nadia and Blage, Cam, Helen, everyone who's just... When 2 or more are gathered, and there are 27 people gathered here right now, 28 including me. You guys are dope. You guys are dope. You have gifts. You are given gifts. You are blessed with the power of creation. Your human body is the only thing that can create into fruition. The human body is made in the image of God. The spiritual realm works through humans in the physical. Cam says, so if there is disease within the body, using natural food/herbs is what's healing. I have to use discernment and not getting caught up in letting things confuse my path. If there is disease within the body, natural foods and herbs is your medicine, your physical medicine, right? If there is disease within the body, please also consider the alignment of your spirit. Please also consider the alignment of your soul, the difference between your spirit and your soul. Your soul are your thoughts, your emotions, your free will, okay? Your thoughts, your emotions, or your free will. Your thoughts can be hijacked with thoughts that are not of your own. Thoughts of depression, anxiety, suicide, unworthiness, self-consciousness, scarcity. Those thoughts that we ruminate over are not of us. That is not what is instilled to us by God. God wants us to live in sound mind and perfect harmony with everything else in his creation. But we have free will as humans. Our thoughts run wild as humans. Our emotions run wild as humans. Especially when our spirit is not equipped to keep the soul sound, balanced. The body is the casing for these other two parts of our triune. If our body is also not equipped, tell me how your soul and your spirit are ultimately going to feel completely aligned if your body is struggling with symptoms, with pain, with discomfort, with junk in it. With other entities, parasitic entities, bacterial imbalance entities on the physical realm. The Creator creates and designs according to his purpose. We must align with his purpose. I feel some type of way about the fact that I'm drinking out of plastic water bottles at my mom's house right now. If you guys know who I am. I don't have my distiller, and I have not gone to Whole Foods to get an entire case of glass bottle Mountain Valley. So I indeed feel some type of way about this. However, I am resilient. I am resilient, and hydration is important, and at least it's spring water. I'm trying to balance my phone as it's charging. Okay, that was everything. That was everything. I feel like lately, coming soon, like, I'm standing strong in my mission. I'm standing strong in this union of spiritual law and natural law. I'm standing strong in learning how to communicate better that union. Because I feel it within me. And I think the outward communication of it. Communication is one of my gifts, right? Indigo's gift is art, or one of the many gifts. We all have many, many gifts. Indigo has a gift of art, right? Sebastian has a gift of discipline, right? One of the many that we all have. One of mine is communication. And this renewal of my mind and my spirit and new clarity and understanding of the union between natural law and spiritual law, now translating that from my spirit into this human fleshly vessel of my voice here. It will happen. It will happen, but it's the new path. It's the new path. It's the new way that it's moving. It's the new way that he's calling me and moving me through. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be a servant. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see how I learn more about this specific union in order to reconcile this community that we're all here to learn about, right? We're all here to learn about natural healing in the body, but like reconciling that with a part that cannot be ignored, that I was ignoring for so long. Or at least I was ignoring articulating it with my gift of communication for so long. And think about that. I was ignoring communicating it with the gift of communication because I was confused. I was confused on what spiritual law looked like. I was diluted in my beliefs of what it looked like. That's why I never felt like I could talk about it. I could speak with such power and such certainty about the physical healing of the body because I lived it. I lived it and I'm not confused on it. Do you know what I'm saying? I am not confused on how to heal the physical body from any condition. I'm not confused about that. However, I was confused on how to truly nourish our spirit and align our spirit and feel full peace and sound mind while we are on this earth in a human vessel. I was confused on that. I seeked it in ayahuasca. I seeked it in mushrooms. I seeked it in an addiction to weed. I seeked it in other things, other ways. I seeked it in even like verbal affirmation from a lot of people. Like, I was always making sure to just like avoid my boundaries to please other people. I never liked the thought of someone not liking me. Even with an entire platform of Instagram, I never liked the thought of someone not liking me. Like, this is a very unique situation too. Like, all of you guys watch me, right? Like, all of you watch me. Technically, I'm an influencer. Technically. I get a lot of messages and hate and comments and everything. And even with all that, it still doesn't sit right in my spirit, the thought of people not liking me. So there was a level of diluting myself to like appease a wide array of people. Your spirit knows your path more than anyone could. Tapping in is amazing. Exactly. Your spirit knows. Your spirit knows. When you are connected to the Creator who will tell you directly the truth, all confusion goes away. All diluting and confusing and pulling here and pulling there and seeking this modality and that modality and this other thing and that other thing, it goes away. I always, this is getting deep. I did not expect this today, but I feel confident. I feel really confident in even saying this. For any practitioners who are here, for anybody who's in the healing space, I never felt like I was enough of a holistic practitioner because I've never deeply embodied astrology as a framework for myself. I've never deeply embodied human design as a framework for myself. I've never deeply embodied like somatic healing or sound healing or theta healing. I've never deeply embodied microdosing mushrooms. I've never deeply embodied Reiki. I've never deeply embodied all of these things that are out here as different modalities. And I always felt like I wasn't holistic enough. I always felt like I wasn't enough of a practitioner because I didn't have this docket of modalities in my tool belt. But the reason why I don't have that docket of modalities in my tool belt is because I have gotten to this point without all of it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I have never practiced regularly those things that were introduced into my realm as I started to come into this place of alternative healing. And I'm letting you draw your own conclusions from what I'm saying. I am speaking about my true experience, and my healing journey did not have any of the things that a lot of people go to. A lot of people jump from modality to modality to modality to modality. For me, my modalities were definitely a lot of plant medicine, right? Kambo, ayahuasca, mushrooms, weed. Those are the 4. That's pretty much it. But like that, those were my modalities. And even in those modalities, Kambo is not necessary for my body. I've done it a couple of times. I have a whole line of Kambo scars on my arm, that just marks me. But like, it's not necessary for me. My most recent, the era of most recent experiences of ayahuasca, I describe it as they broke my brain. That's how I describe it. I'm also having deja vu. I am having deja vu right now, saying these words on live while this phone is right here, while I am in my bed with this blanket in the exact position that I'm in right now. Wow. My recent experience with ayahuasca, I describe it as breaking my brain. And my recent experience with mushrooms, I fully felt like my mind was being taken over by entities outside of myself. And those recent experiences brought back in a lot of anxiety and a lot of like, just like confusion and lack of gratitude for life. When I was in the hospital, if any of you are new here, I say the whole story way too many times across all platforms. So those of you who know the story, you'll just hear the message for a reason. But like, when I was in the hospital, I forgot what I was even talking about. What was I about to say? Oh, got it. When I was in the hospital, I was speaking such deep gratitude for what was literally happening to me. I was chained up by my neck to a chemotherapy machine where my blood was also transfused out of my body every single day. I could not walk. I could not shower. I could not write. I could only type and watch YouTube and read. Every part of that experience, it blew my mind how much gratitude I had for it because I knew what it was doing. It was refining me. I knew, even with doctors telling me this is a 20% fatality rate, you're going to need chemo preventative every 6 months for the rest of until whenever, I don't know when. We just did an entire x-ray of your body. You're potentially internally bleeding here. You have cysts all over your reproductive system. Things being thrown at me. I was 21 years old. Was I? 20. This was in 2019. No, I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. 21 years old. All of that being thrown at me. And I had this I shocked myself, this shocking level of gratitude that sat with me. I used to have this weird slip up where I would call the hospital a hotel. Like, I would tell my family that they did not have to come visit me because I was good. I was on a hospital bed getting the most toxic drug out there, being told that there's a 20% fatality rate and you might have to have chemo until who knows when. And I told my family, guys, I'm good. I'm good. You don't have to come visit. The amount of gratitude was shocking. And I lived in a state of gratitude, deep gratitude after you experience something like that for a long time. I had a deep, deep feeling of gratitude, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And then with the continued use of plant medicine, with the continued access to the spiritual realm that I felt like I wanted to dabble in, it ended up lack of gratitude and anxiety that released from me when I did have that experience in the hospital completely came back. And my healing experience since then, I have been to a Reiki person once. I've been to a sound healer once. I've practiced like Vedic meditation 3-4 times. I've never done theta healing, never done chakra balancing. I've gotten an astrology reading probably twice. I've gotten a tarot reading like once. So like, this is where I'm at. Across years. And it's not like I did each of those 7 times. That's an interesting number, 7 as well. And then of course, all the plant medicines. That was my modality. But I'm talking about all the other ones. That's 7. I didn't do each of those 7 times. I had an experience in my journey, my path to be where I am. You guys can see the fruit of where I am today, however you want to see it. I see my fruit. My family sees the fruit. My boyfriend sees the fruit. People who are close to me see the fruit. 7 times total across, what are we in, 2024? 5 years. 7 times total. I have never gone back to any of these more than the times that I've just told you. I've never deeply embodied any of these practices. None of those have been a pillar to where I am right now. And I am truly going to let you discern for yourself. Truly going to let you discern for yourself what that means for you. Because all I'm doing is trying to help you not feel confused and not feel like you need to be pulled in 100 different directions of seeking modality after modality and practice after practice and external thing after external thing after external thing. That's all I am here trying to do. Truth lies within you and truth lies with the Creator. I'm truly sharing my experience. And my experience has been very, very rooted in God's creation of earth medicine, leafy greens, herbs, fruits, vegetables, foods of the earth. And now, beyond my wildest dreams, a beautiful blessing of 5 encounters since October 21st of like full just peace and sound mind and understanding of what it means to be a spirit in a human vessel, to be spoken to by God Himself, to be spoken to by the Creator, audibly hearing His voice, physically encountering. I cannot even describe to you just the gratitude that I have and what that truly, truly feels like. And the fact that it's like here to this point, and I can clearly see every single thing in my life that has led me to this point right now. It's like beyond comprehension, but it's like full comprehension. Like, how is it like so beyond understanding, yet I fully understand it in my spirit? Because my spirit feels nourished, my spirit feels joyous. Wow. Just crying on live. Who knew? Who knew? This is the first time I've ever cried on live, ever. I'm probably going to start crying more with what I'm about to say, too. You know, this type of work, what I've been doing, I do know why and I do know how, but like, it always surprised me how unfulfilled I've always felt. I have felt so unfulfilled, even with what this looks like. I have felt like working with people has always drained me. And people have other practitioners have come at me a little bit for even saying that. Because being of service, I'm not allowed to admit that it felt draining. I have always felt drained in working with people on their body. And I never knew why it felt so it just didn't feel quite there. It didn't feel quite there. And I know that I've been amazing at supporting and amazing at helping the people who have worked with me. You know, I've been doing this for a little bit of time, but people who are close to me know that I have always said, I don't know why this feels unfulfilling. I don't know why I still feel like there's something not right. I don't know why it feels so draining. I don't know why I would prefer not to do this. And it's crazy that I could still feel like that, because if anyone were to compare, the nature of comparison is not good. But if anyone were to compare, it's why in the world should I feel like that? And I never fully understood it, and I continue to show up, and I continue to get in flow state on live. Live feels amazing to me. There's something about just live like this, it just feels amazing. But the other parts of it always felt draining until now. Because now the source of the helping isn't even coming from me, because I have someone else walking with me. I have an undissolvable energy source that I literally did not have prior, because I did not have a relationship. I did not have a relationship with the one that literally breathes life into our body. If you look at the body, the human body, we are an organism. I just did an entire lesson on the levels of organization in the anatomy course that I'm recording. The body is an organism. We are made up of organ systems, the respiratory system, the blood, the circulatory system, the lymphatic system. We're an organism made up of systems. And those systems are made up of organs. The circulatory system has the heart, has the lungs, has the blood. The digestive system has the stomach, has the intestines, has the liver. Those organs are made up of tissues. Those tissues are made up of cells. Those cells are made up of organelles, the mitochondria, the lysosomes, the peroxisomes, the cellular membrane, the DNA, the nucleus, the nucleolus. The cell is made up of organelles. The organelles are made up of molecules. We have molecules of carbon, molecules of hydrogen, molecules of nitrogen. Those molecules are made up of atoms. Those atoms are proton, neutrons, electrons. Now, when we get to that deep level, that deep level of organization of how our physiology is leveled, in college, I studied this many years. I was pre-med. So I'm deep into science class for many years, right? In chemistry, the chemistries, I vaguely remember, I don't know if this is within my thought or if I put the dots together recently, but there is this concept of when you ask, what powers the atom? Thank you, Indigo. But what are protons, neutrons, and electrons made up of? What powers the atom? What is the level deeper that you go? Traditional science tells you, well, we don't know. Well, we don't know. What is the life force that powers the most smallest, tangible substance that we can trace down to of our organism, and every piece of matter in life is the atom. But what powers the atom? The breath of life, spirit, God. Science will tell you we don't know. If you accept the answer of we don't know, when you are on the deepest molecular atomic level of human body, of organism, of life, of biological life at the deepest level, if you accept the answer, I don't know, and it allows you to deny that there is a creator, I am leaving that conclusion up to you. Time for more water. Time for more water. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Just sobbing. Just sobbing my eyes out. Hearing the voice. The deja vu. What? You know what deja vu is? Do you want to know what deja vu is? Stephanie E.K. Okafor teaches about what deja vu is. If you don't know who Stephanie E.K. Okafor is, I highly recommend. She describes that deja vu happens when you are, let me see if I can, let me get this in my mind so I can say it, right? So I can say it well. Deja vu happens when God had a plan for you. God had a plan for you for that day, for that week. God had a plan of what he wanted you to do. Deja vu is when your spirit is actually doing or in the location at the time that God already planned for you, preordained for you. Because we have free will, a lot of the time we just go about our days. We don't know what God has planned for us, but we go about our days in our free will. Probably, if we are connected, we're walking the path, but specifically deja vu is described as God had a plan and your spirit and your body are in the location doing what he preordained for you to do at that specific day, time, and place. So the fact that I got deja vu right now on this live, particularly this live, the first time where I'm ever even talking about anything related to this union of natural law and spiritual law. The only time I've ever talked about anything to this capacity on a live like this is good. It's good. It's really good. It's really important. It's really important and it's really special. And I'm feeling really, really joyful and really grateful in this moment. I recommend y'all just stretch it out. I'm hitting like almost midnight Eastern time. This is crazy. Do some movement. Let's do some motions. Let's do some twisting. Let's do some breathing. That feels like the completion of what I have to share tonight. So, God bless you all. I absolutely cannot express my excitement for what this is going to turn into, for how this is going to look, for the mission of aligning spiritual law and natural law. That is what keeps coming to me. Like the union of spiritual law and natural law is this, like, I don't even know how to describe that verbiage that is just coming to me. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. And I am excited. I am so excited. Thank you all for spending time, for vibing out, for witnessing me. Have an amazing night, you guys. Bye.